Hello gang, welcome back. We are doing some Doom Eternal and we're doing a bit of lore at the moment. You know how you do your lore in your Doom games? We're taking a little bit of a break from gameplay to run through our lore. We have the Lost City of Abet as our next entry. It's the long and enduring history of Sentinel civilization. There are moments in antiquity that have become buried in time, forgotten chapters that remain concealed to Sentinel historians waiting to be unearthed. The fallen city of Vibet is one such tale, all but forgotten to the tomes of legacies past. Once a prosperous port city, a proud, gleaming marker of conquest for the distant tribe of Bethian clansmen of the Outer Worlds, Vibet bridged the disparate Sentinel cities with the ingenious design of Slipgate invention, but it was not meant to last, and among those cities lost in the Crusades of Sentinel past was Abet, now little more than a smouldering ruin swallowed by the quaking surface of a once habitable Mars. Yeah, I remember that place. That was the place where I killed all the demons right at that bit there in the picture at the end, and then it fucked me out of the thing for killing them all for some reason. Sentinel Prime, that's where we just were. The ancient arena is a holy place for the people of Argentanor. Constructed in the earliest days of their history, this Colosseum served as a proving ground for trial by combat. Historical records indicate that the Argenta did not jail their own kind. Rather, prisoners and criminals were granted the right to earn their chance of regaining honour through victory in the arena. Those who succeeded were given a place to fight in the front lines of the Sentinel army to die in service to Argentanor. The traditional use of the arena has subsided since the assimilation with the Dark Realm. The corrupted priests now allow more violent exchanges with armed captives pitted against demons for sport. The priests of the Ordered Egg continue to hold undisputed power on Argentanor. Spilling the blood of the Argent Ascended class will result in the transgressor's punishment. Asylum amongst the Argenta will be denied to any who do not adhere to the rules of engagement. I.e. us. Alright, and we have the first 9 parts of our Sentinel history. In the days before man first spoke, an immense shard of rocket metal was cast onto the world from the heavens. Thunder and cataclysm shook the land as the skies were torn asunder. The cosmic sphere cleft a hole through our mortal lands, pole to pole, from the cold wastes of the Umbral Plains to the fetid swamps of Ironfang. The womb of the world opened, and the elemental wraiths, the firstborn, spilled forth. They took to the skies, fierce in their emancipation. In their exultation, they brought vitality to the land, and all that felt their breath were awakened from eternal slumber. Fierce beasts and an unforgiving biosphere rose in the passing of their shadow as the wraith call echoed across Argentanor. First came the Ancestrals, feral creatures invigorated by the magic of the wraiths. They grew to enormous heights, mighty behemoths who waged war with each other for years untold. Their battles tore the land asunder and destroyed all creation caught in their wake. The wraith call continued to spread across the land, and soon the Argenta emerged from the steppes, our souls stirred into form by the power of their breath. Titans towered over the well-blooded tribes, but found them uncowed. The secret of the sword was discovered, and in the darkness of sweltering mountain forges, we beat steel until it was strong enough to pierce bone and sever flesh. Thus we came to be, born of rock and fire, lowly in birth, but risen by the strength of our will. By the blessedness of the first ones, we forged sword and shield, and took the hammer to the Ancestrals. We claimed dominion of creation by right of blood and magic, and the time of man came to be. With the ancestral beasts driven back to their bleak valleys we rose. We tilled the fertile land, husbanded beasts of burden, and built towering cities. The hallowed place on the obsidian throne we crowned King Ormero the Founder, the first in line that shall reign in perpetuity. We built the Cathedral of Reflection to worship the First Ones and formed the Order of the Daig, whose priests pay tribute to the wraiths and appease their tempestuous hunger. Our sons and daughters chose the path of the sword, or the path of the alchemist, for each duty honours the gods. Though our ways are righteous and we were not without strife, storms and great quakes cast our spires down, barbaric tribes laid siege to our fields in search of the great gifts Mother Argenta had bestowed upon our world, and the song of the wraith call threatened to drive lesser men into madness. We were not lesser men. We defended that which the first ones gifted to us, our lands and right to the bounty held within. We beat back the barbarian hordes and hardened our resolve. We rose above the fire, our bodies and souls tempered, and unbreakable will was shaped in the forge of battle. What emerged was the heart of our legion, the Order of the Night Sentinels. In the time of grief, when King Etrex took the throne, a blessing came to the people of Argenta. White porcelain beings from a world above our own brought gifts to the North. Observers to our great deeds, admirers of our convictions, they sought to make bond with our swords and bring lasting order to our world. These were beings unlike any we had seen before. Sword and shield had no weight against them, for the ethereal flesh of these luminous beings seemed unbound by immortality. Able to move through time and space, they held sway over all dominions of the known and unknown dimensions. Through their ways we grew stronger, and our society bolstered by their infinite wisdom and all-knowing power, assuring our people safety for all time, this world and the next. Where we sharpened the blade and mastered our magic, they bolstered the soul and spirit. Death would no longer be the end for our people. The ones we call the Makers, our new allies in this brutal world, have given us the security and debt we fought so hard to achieve in life. We would find eternal peace, and our minds would rest easy, with the knowledge that those we fought alongside in battle would join us in the lands beyond the mortal plane. The strength of our ways, the purity of our essence, would by Maker Law grant us passage to the great city in the clouds. There, our women and children, warriors and kin alike would welcome us. We adopted the holy doctrines of the Makers, gifted in exchange for the chance to earn eternal rest for our mortal souls in the blessed Ordok. The covenant we held now under the embrace of our new gods fostered a peace we had never known, for they were unlike the first ones whose presence offered no paradise from fear and the uncertainty of existence in a harsh and unforgiving world. The Makers embraced us warm and guided us into an era of spiritual prosperity. With machine and enchantment of the Makers, the Argenta brought a newfound clarity to the spiritual realms of the Empyrean Void. We took flight with the support of the gods, spreading the enlightened word of the Khan Maker. We discovered there was not one enemy but many. Worlds and peoples unknown to the Argenta were unveiled, and we saw our own suffering reflected in their eyes. Our righteous armies strode into battle under the banner of the Night Sentinels and fought for freedom of all peoples from the grasp of those who would exploit and prey upon them. Though we battled on soil not our own, the blood we shed in foreign lands safeguarded Argent, the Noor, and the sons and daughters that defended it. Through the strange peoples we liberated, new alliances were formed, and our beliefs became their own. Our armies swelled. As the Argenta traversed the stars with gleaming war fleets, the Khan of the Makers approached King Roan on his throne. He sensed his god restless by her disquiet manner. The king and Khan spoke, and the god revealed she had foreseen a schism in the blood of the Argenta. A test would be required to identify its host among us. She spoke of a holy rite to be performed on the strongest of her warriors. Only those that proved worthy would be tested, for the impurity could reside in only the most resilient of our legion. The divinity machine, a great tribute by Maker Scalaris, would help us cleanse any impurities from our flock, ensuring that our continued prosperity in this world and in the Maker realm that awaited in the afterlife. The malicious one, if not exhumed from our ranks, would jeopardize our safe passage to the heavenly realm of Urdok. Are we the malicious one? The Dark One was not among them yet, nor would he be for generations. Only the Mother God, through divination and Maker sight, would determine when he stood before them. The Makers were truth, and only their unclouded eyes could find the one who was marked. The prophecy of the Unholy One was written, but through the ages the warning grew faint, until only the Khan Maker herself and the High Priest of the Ordered Egg still whispered of he that would one day come to threaten their way of life. In the time of King Novik, as the Argenta secured peace and safety through dimensions across time and space, an outlander came to us. He was not overworld and spoke an ugly tongue. How he first took step upon our land was unknown. Sentinel scouts have found the outlander bloodied, clawed, and near death, mumbling of impending doom and the forces of darkness. The scent of blood followed him, and the gore that stained his armour seemed not entirely his own. By a gentle law, the stranger would be judged in the Colosseum, where he would be given the chance of all who stray from the path to fight for his freedom. We knew not of this stranger. His mind seemed crippled with rage. He dressed in attire not suited for our lands, and carried munition of arcane origin. We watched as his will overcame his injuries, and in the blood arena he proved his worth. The Outlander's technique was crude and brutal, but the determination in his charge echoed that of any true-born sentinel. His war cry echoed through the Colosseum, as did the sound of his fury, and the guards cheered his banner. Rip and tear, they shouted, as the beast pushed beyond mortal wounds and certain death. He had been gifted no rank, no title. The survivors in the arena were provided only one reward: the right to earn an honourable death while spreading the blessings of the Makers to those in need. The Outlander's determination was witnessed, his ravings documented, and through the word of the Order Dag, the Canmaker had him brought before her. She set her minions to learning his tongue, for with his ugly words he spoke of lands unseen, creatures born of fire, and a dark place unknown to the Queen and her caste. Yet another opportunity to expand the gift of the Makers to those in need. Okay, so that's the Doomslayer's origin, kind of. On the eve of the Black Star, the Dark Ones came from a world beneath our own, not through a ship nor ephemeral vessel, but through the fabric of dimensions. Out of swirling fiery gates became horned beasts from a timeless realm. First one, then many, crashing waves of evil swelled from the obsidian forest of the Argentian overlands. The Alorum clans from the Eastern Mountains fell first to the black hordes of devils, and the city of Telorum was slung under the weight of their charge. We sentinels rose to meet the beasts with spear in hand, the might of the Holy Fleet striking back at the demons, but the dark gates from whence they came gave birth to still even greater hordes. A line of blood was drawn with the fallen on both sides, and the unholy wars began as the time of darkness came upon us. Unlike enemies of the past, we could not contain the demons emergent from the Dark Realm. Their weaponry was not conjured from machine steel, but from the essence of their very being, a dark magic not known to us in our magic conquests. Had we grown overconfident, our victory serving to dull our blade as we drank in the glory of our expanding empire? Lost, we knew not how to prevail against this foe. The Maker gods stood perplexed, and our engineers and priests scrambled to find the advantage in battle we so desperately needed. Unknown to the enemy, we were pushed to the brink of defeat, and our gods stood with us as we worked to find the answer. The Order of the Dag were the first to unlock the mystery of these foul creatures. The priests were able to capture several of the beasts and set about to identify the source of the power. It was then that the essence of the Dark Realm was discovered. Not wholly unlike our own, this power was the life essence that flowed through their twisted form and powered their attacks. It could be harnessed to power our own weapons, giving the Argenta the chance to combat the demons on an even footing. The priests believed that with even greater knowledge of the essence, we could discover its source and cut it off from the demons that strangled our armies from within, allowing us to regain the advantage we required for victory on the battlefield. The Canmaker gave blessings to Her Majesty and directed the priests to delve deeper into the mysteries of the Scarlet Elixir from the demonic realm, for she sought only to return balance to her universe. Proper assimilation was required, as hell stood beyond her influence. After great effort, the priests discovered more than they had ever hoped for. They learned of the true nature of demonic energy and how it could strengthen those skilled enough to harness its power. The energy coursing through the malformed bodies of a relentless enemy could be used to end life or to enhance it. The power to heal, mend, immortality, knowledge, and enlightened faculties beyond our understanding. With the demon's life force in the skilled hands of the Sentinel Priestess and under the righteous gaze of the Canmaker, people would not only rise to victory over the unholy horde that clouded our walls, but we would move to a higher plateau of existence, ushering in a new era of military science and industrial healing. No Sentinel would grow sick, no Maker would ever need to suffer the transfiguration that they so feared, and all would be risen. None could ever oppose our peaceful ways and threaten our world again. True balance over hell and its legions, over space and time, in this world and all the others. We would dictate the order, united with the Makers, we would find peace eternal. How'd that work out? The Canmaker demanded a tit of the essence, and, driven by her desire, the priests submitted themselves to her will. The Order of the Dag took counsel with the king, speaking only of the spoiled lands sure to be found through the cleft in creation, and the opportunity to purge new invaders from arrogant Dutanur. We took the war to their cursed land, pressing through the gates of wizardry There was one among us who seemed to know the true nature of these foul demons. It was the Outlander, yes, the stranger who had come to us from places unknown. He had survived in the front lines far longer than any sentinel-born prisoner had before. His passion for battle against the vile horde was evident, his lust for their destruction matching our own. Though arrogant, the Noor remained a foreign land to him, his fervour caught the attention of inquisitors of the Sentinel Guards, some whispering of a suspected allegiance held in secret with the demons. Silencing the critics, King Novik deemed him worthy of selection. The signifiers brought a commission to our king, and it was decided that he be lifted from the common rabble. Though no arena-born prisoner had ever been granted the honour, the Knight Sentinels broke tradition and deemed the Outlander worthy of training. A number of disciples grumbled and chafed at the barbarian present in the ranks, but in the war with the demons all opportunities for even the slightest advantage were to be considered. As they witnessed the stranger spar with their hallmasters, they found him an undying, unrelenting compatriot. This man was an outsider, friend to none, and yet rose each time he was thrown to the dirt of the circle. Battered and bruised, his brow stained with blood, he rose with grim determination for the chance to face his enemies in armed combat once again. Time passed as the stranger was instructed in the codified matrices of their order, the ancient lessons of battle and brotherhood taught to all sentinels. He could sense the opportunity before him. Soon all of hell would feel his wrath once again. Satisfied that he would not be a detriment to their prowess, the Knight Sentinels granted him his wish as they ventured through the hell gates with the stranger in tow. They knew no rest, fighting in the unnatural elements and training under the blood moon of night. The stranger suffered exhaustion, wounds, and sickness, but asked for no aid and was offered none. 3 times the Knight Sentinels ventured into the gate and back, but upon every return the stranger strode, more capable than before. His gait locked in step with the march of the Sentinels, a disciplined and now controlled lust for demon blood ever present. The passing of years and in numerous battles with the devils indentured the stranger to Argenta's mightiest warriors, and no longer did they condescend to him as a new-blooded conscript. For to them he had become a brother in arms forged in war, an ally and a weapon. Look at that Doomslayer playing nice. As a reward with the beast, the Argenta society grew, under the watchful eye of the makers and through the endless power of the essence. While our generals were consumed with the unholy war, our culture was marked by the beautiful potion the enemy had provided us. The sweet elixir brought us immeasurable capacity and empowered us to reach further into dimensions once thought to be beyond our grasp. Under the direction of our maker gods and the engineering of our high priests, our weapons blazed and our war machines stormed. The throngs of the populace drank deeply from the well of energy unveiled by the priests. But we of the Knight Sentinels took no part in their abundance. Some among us whispered accusations and warnings against this manner of progress, but they were quelled, as it was not our rule to dictate the future of our people, only to defend it. As the Black Star ascended to its zenith, King Novik sat restless on his throne as a howling darkness began to assemble just beyond the mountain rise to the east. The blight came upon us in droves, flitting forth from the Hellgate with merciless fury. They had brought with them a monstrous titan, the Dreadnought, a beast to rival the stature and menace of even the mightiest ancestral. The grotesque giant laid waste all before him, crushing all in his path. This is a total demonic assault, striking at the heart of Argent and Noor as never before. How was it that the Behemoth could pass through the demonic gate without warning? We would never know, though the Knight Sentinels believed treason was at play. Caught off guard, the Sentinels scrambled late in defiance of the Titan and his sword, and with his coming the holy city of Taras Nabad prepared for judgment. With the onslaught of the demons massed in the sprawling shadow of the abhorrent fiend, the city shook to its foundation. None were spared, save those that fled north. The vile swarm ransacked our temples and palaces, burning our towers, and feasting on the souls of our clergy. So I think this is what we're going to fight, potentially one of these titans. It's what the game is hinting at anyway. They rallied and held fast against the demons. They were pushed back and corralled at the blood arena. As the dark of night descended, their swords remained potent and shred the enemy multitude with abandon. Amidst the unreeling yanks of the sentinels, when all of their apprentices had fallen in battle, stood the Outlander, Rip and tear he roared, ferocious in battle. The remaining conscripts to the arena stood in awe as they witnessed the beast who had once raged within their very cells, now armoured alongside the shoulders of his sentinel brethren. He had risen where none other had before, a true-born sentinel fighter, the very best among them. But though the swarm fell before their assault, the Titan remained invincible, for none could tame the behemoth alone. In the hours before dawn, as the night sentinels weathered their relentless assault, the Outlander held his ground at the foot of the great wall, the northern bend of the castle. Seeing his unending vigour, Samur, Chancellor to the Mother God, hurried the Outlander away under veil of secrecy, and, for reason unknown, submitted him to a rite untold. This was heresy, for Samur received no consent from the Khan Maker, nor did he receive her counsel. The Chapel of Purity, the Outlander submitted himself to the divinity machine. Their Samur Maker, the Seraphim, known to us only as aid to the Mother God, blessed the Outlander with fierce speed and power to match his will. It was the method by which this transfusion took place that was most uncertain to us, for we were of the knowledge that the Maker device bestowed onto the Argenta so many generations ago was only to be used by the priest to find impurity among us. How could it be that this device was meant to cull the sentinel breed if its contaminants could be used to purify the Outlander's body and give rise to the one who would lead us into battle henceforth? What rose from the holy coffin on that fateful day was not the impure abomination the covenant warned us of. The hero within would come to be known as the Great Slayer, the Time Walker, the warrior Khan, whose fire sword would blaze forth a path for the just and cut through the demonic horde with a vengeance that only a god king could summon. He rose unbroken by the ritual, his eyes burning with Maker magic. He took the crucible in his hand, and red fire leapt forth from the blade, as only it will when held by a true sentinel warrior king. In her darkest hour, the Slayer had been chosen. Defying tradition, our most sacred laws, and the will of the great Khan herself, stranger to her lands, have been blessed with celestial might. You know, I'm not mad about that lore. I preferred it when Doomguy is just a guy that was very angry. We'll read through this. This will be quicker. Hell barges. Atop mighty trolls, the Hell Priests oversaw the invasion of the mortal world. The troll, slave titan of the underworld, carried the priest temples into the wake of battle, providing the priests with vigil of Hell's advance from a strategically impervious emplacement. From their temple perch, the priests would emanate a powerful psionic influence imposing greater coordination among the chaotic forces of Hell and increasing their battle effectiveness. The troll, possessing superior resilience, proved indestructible by conventional weapons, thwarting all attempts by Ark defensive forces. Only by severing the priest's psychokinetic tether could the Titan be neutralized, an act that could only be accomplished by infiltration of the temple itself. Interesting to note if we do have to fight one of these Titans. Hell Priests, powerful practitioners of arcane magics, the priests have warped their powers to suit their insidious purpose, harnessing the dark forces of hellish psychomancy to prepare for the final blood ritual. By blood were the Hell Priests bound to dark ritual, which now consumed Earth, and so long as even one of them lives, the consumption of Earth will continue, allowing Hell unfettered rule of the mortal world. Only by destroying the beast can the blood ritual be stopped and Earth saved. Yep, we did that. Okay, so I've obviously missed a couple of these here and there, but that's fine. So, Dag Ranak. Dark Viceroy to the Chaos Troll, Ranak has long served as one of Hell's emissaries on Earth, laying the foundation for the planet's inevitable invasion. In secrecy, Ranak is prepared to Hellgate, awaiting the omen of the Sixth Seal, that which signals the Age of Rapture, which will cleanse the Earth as foretold by the Maker prophets. Ranak worked closely with Olivia Pierce during the development of the original Mars project, and since her death has taken total control of the UAC, his promises of wealth, power, and everlasting life have corrupted the organization from within, absolving its employees of their moral conscience, accelerating the sacrifice of Earth in exchange for the lure of Argent energy, the promise of undying union with Hell. Dag Ranak previously served the King of Argent Denor as Sentinel Priest, guiding the Argenta's spiritual growth as a hallowed figure. After the betrayal, he abandoned his home world, working on behalf of the Khan Maker. personally overseeing the transformation of viable planets. Brannick has constructed a veritable fortress in the polar caps to protect him during his dark work. Doom Hunter. Yeah, these guys. Once raised to beast like hunters, the Doom Hunter creature was known to Sentinel warriors in ages past as lethal stalkers of the Metal Age. Extracted from the frozen depths of the polar tundra, the Doom Hunter belongs to an ancient race uncovered during the cultist excavation in the remote Arctic. Preserved below the ice for millions of years, the unearthed remains of this creature were deemed suitable for reconstruction, becoming the subject of cultist necro-regenerative bioexperimentation. It's a mouthful. Within the remote cultist citadel, a high-tech ritual altar which towers over the Golgothan ruins, the Doom Hunter was ceremoniously and systematically resurrected and rebuilt. While the majority of its components are now cybernetic, it retains a high degree of mental faculty, a sentient, brutal hunting instinct augmented with armaments of a tank division. Fun. Civil war consumed Argent the Nord. The Night Sentinel's guard was quartered by their fate. Torn between serving the Can Maker or revolting against that which they swore to protect, those most disillusioned swore their oath to the Sentinel royalty, abandoning their pact of allegiance made to the throne. These hardened warriors joined a separatist group led by the exalted priest class, allying themselves with the Makers and their devout acolytes in an attempted coup against the Sentinel royal house. Those Sentinel warriors who fell in battle having sided with the Makers were ultimately denied finality and death. Resurrected by the divinity machine of Maker design, these fallen Sentinels were returned from the dead, transformed by Hell's power, and recreated with a singular purpose, to hunt the Slayer, reborn as Knights in Hell Army. Degrav remains the most powerful of the Hell Priests amongst the people of Argentanor, frequently visiting his ancient home world to lord over the populace. Argent Pompous, Grav calls for bloodsport in the arena to entertain the fallen citizens of Sentinel Prime. Since the demonic invasion of Earth began, he has operated on the planet's surface along with his fellow Hell Priests to direct Hell's forces, but after the death of Dag Inlox and Dag Ragnak, he has returned to the safety of the arena. Steg Grav, who facilitated the torment and eventual betrayal of the Sentinel Commander Fallon, taking the keys to Sepulture of Elements and opening the vault to sleeping wraiths. The ancient creatures were abducted, transported to Hell, and tortured to siphon away their power. Used the heart of Fallon's son to animate the icon of sin, a titan still spoken of in legend throughout Argentanor. Yes, that's what's supposed to be coming. Gladiator. In the years following the end of the Golden Age, competing factions of Argentanor turns against one another, and insidious influence had set itself upon the Sentinel people, corrupting its once-held sacred traditions. The Colosseum, once a place of honourable combat where prisoners of the Argenta were tested for the right to fight in the front lines of their army, has since become a place of bloodsport. In violation of Sentinel law, the priests have engaged a demon there, a merciless executioner, used to enact judgment of their own decree. The gladiator, wielding an accursed shield which entombs the tormented soul of his undying master, remains undefeated in battle, not anymore, infamous for the many lives it has claimed. Alright, that's kind of our lore as much as we're going to go through it. I don't know what that is, but we're not going to go through the enemies and weapons and stuff. Right, well that was lore time. Let's get back to killing things. Oh, another ARC broadcast. This is the Resistance Network broadcasting live from inside the Arctic safe zone. There was a Slayer sighting on Phobos. Eyewitness reports say he was spotted inside a command center and proceeded to fight his way through the mortally challenged onto the deck of the BFG 10,000. This can't be confirmed. Many believe it was the Slayer himself who destroyed Mars in an attempt to stop the challenge from further advancing their position on Earth. We'll post more information as it comes in. This is an ARC broadcast. What are master levels? Ooh. Oh, it's to unlock a skin? Ooh, interesting. I like that there's so much replayability in it. So yeah, this is where I can go back and get all my shit. If we need to, as you can kind of see, I kind of got good about collecting stuff at a certain point, but early on, probably not so much. Just a toy there, that's fine. Earth's core, that's where they fucked me. Yeah, interesting. So that'll be...
This is the Resistance Network, broadcasting live from inside the Arctic safe zone. There was a Slayer
Oh, this is what I just read.
Eyewitness reports say that he was spotted.
Fuck that, let's go. Terrasnabat. 6 coded entities, ice bomb, treat from glory kills on pain elementals.
Your crucible is still embedded in the Titan that attacked this Sentinel city. Your first battle against the demons in this world, where the legend of the Slayer began.
Oh jeez, what's going on down there? Okay. The city of Terrasnabat is the crown jewel of Arkan Tenor. For centuries it served as the spiritual heart of Arkan society, home to both the royal family and the centre of political power. No expense was spared in building the city with bold, colonnaded architecture and towering monuments to gods and kings resplendent on every avenue. Rural Agenta flocked to Terrasnabat on pilgrimage to the Maker temples. The city was ground zero of a massive demonic invasion attempt, and although the invasion was thwarted, the attack changed Argenta society forever. Yeah, that's okay. I understand what I have to do. We just need to look at this sentinel battery. It's apparently here real quick. No, won't let me go there. Who earns? No, okay, it's just this way. Making life overly complicated as usual. How do I get out? Don't actually see an especially good way back up. That works. Oh, hey buddy. Oh shit. Super shitty maybe? Oh, just about.
The great city of Tarasnabad, site of the first reported demon attack in Argentina. According to the Korax tablet, the city would have been lost had it not been for the arrival of the Slayer.
Any other assholes? Okay. I'll just say, but over to my left there somewhere is map and shit. The Archvile is a super heavy demon that can suffer buffed demons. Ooh. Oh shit. Where is it? I don't even see it. Balls. Okay. Okay, I think the game is really telling me upgrade your shit, you goofball. That's fine. That's very silly. No, turn it off. Though. Well shit, what can I use to absolutely blast the fuck out of him? Oh, where'd he go? Fucking hidey hole coward. Third asshole. Man, I'm struggling to deal with these guys. We'll get the knack for it though, don't we always? Ah, no. Probably the wrong way to waste that on, but you know, fuck it. That didn't even do anything other than just fucking annoy me. Asshole.
All your strength, all that rage, you couldn't save this world from itself. But this time Earth will be different.
Okay, we've done the ice thing. Back to our regular frags now. Now we're going to explore around here. Actually, funnily enough, you say you watch playthroughs and don't remember that much. I remember Gecko doing this exact bit when I was watching him play. Amazing how the old brain can just kick into gear sometimes. What are you? Ooh, mastery token. There, map up somewhere above. We've got a bit to loosh and scoosh in this room before we're moving on. Funny Gecko, I was just literally saying I remember you being here. I remember this specific bit, and I remember you looking around how to get that shit, which I'm sure I will have to do the same. Terry, have a good night. Do we just shoot it? Oh, hello, buddy. Oh, whatever. Climby wall, but where do I climb the wall from? Oh! How come I can't do that? Oh well. Oh, no worries, Gecko. Do your thing. Jesus. Don't have to apologize for being quiet. So it kind of looks to me like we go out there and we might get back in at some of that stuff. Maybe not that battery though, although maybe that battery. Let's get our challenge first. Let's see what horrible nonsense they have in store for us. Well, that worked. Yay, 50 BFG ammo, it'll It'll certainly help with those things. Okay, could I think in the other stuff we're gonna have to go from the other side, but we shall see. Well, it doesn't solve everything, but it solves a lot. Oh. Okay, I see where this is going. I don't much like it. So I see how we get down and around to there. Alright. I'm gonna assume we get to that from over there, but we can track back if we don't. Right. Good, let's leave it there for a second. We'll do our quick ad break and we'll tackle that shit after. See you in a moo.